Hi-ho, Internet Clash of Clan YouTube watching people. This is Frankenfoot. I got two more war attacks to share with you. Both of them came up short. That's unfortunate, but you can always learn from your mistakes. So this is the first base I'm attacking. Unfortunately, my king is down, or I would have very happily dropped a suicide king on this queen who's running around the edge over here. But because he's down, I didn't have that option. But when I look at this base, I see a lot of open space in the middle of the base here, a lot of big compartments. And when I see that, I'm just thinking P.E.K.K.A.s. And when I'm thinking P.E.K.K.A.s these days, if I can knock out any air defense, I'm thinking HPHB, healers, P.E.K.K.A.s, hogs, bowlers. Very effective. I've had great success with it. But the problem is, I've got a queen over here, and I've got clan castle troops over here. And this little girl over here is nowhere near any air defense. So you either have to bust in somewhere and take out an air defense really quick, which the easiest place to do that is here. But if you bust in over here, I just don't have any faith that my P.E.K.K.A.s are going to make it all the way over here somehow and take out that queen. So that didn't seem like a good idea to me. So what I elected to do was do sort of a hybrid queen walk transition into HPHB, and it would have worked wonderfully if I just had 5 more seconds. But unfortunately, I had the 98% 2-star, and just with plenty of troops left, but just 1 or 2 buildings left that I just needed a few more seconds to get at. But the way I decided to make this attack work is, well, first off, the main things I've found over the years of queen walking, I guess it has been years now, wow. The two main things you don't want to happen in queen walking is, first and most importantly, you do not want your queen to die prematurely. That is critical, because the whole thing is literally just gone at that point. You can't do that. So you be plentiful with your rage spells. You drop if you're not familiar with it, you drop a rage on the healers. You try to get the queen too, but it's important you get the healers, because that keeps the healers, it boosts them up, and it makes them heal the queen very quickly. So she can be taking a lot of damage and get healed pretty darn quick with a rage on the healers. And the other thing you can use is her ability. And it's usually good to use that on the clan castle troops, because let's say a bunch of Valks pop out of the clan castle, they can wipe out that queen pretty quick. But if you drop her ability, if you use her ability, she'll disappear, so they can't target her, and she'll also start firing some really powerful archer queen shots, and she'll knock them out pretty darn quick. So the ability is another great tool to use. Use those two things to keep her alive. It's definitely worth the cost of doing that. So what I'm doing here is I'm dropping a queen over here, healers behind her, sort of behind her in a corner, because I want them to stay away from this archer tower if that's at all possible, and stay away from the queen. I don't want anything to target them if I can possibly help that. But queen and healers away. When this archer tower and the queen has locked on to my friendly queen, I'm going to drop a wizard up here to start taking out of these buildings, because the other bad thing that can happen during a queen walk is she can walk the wrong way. Over the years, you just kind of develop a feel for what's going to make her walk left versus right, but you can often get surprised. She can still go the wrong way. So dropping a wizard here to take these guys out is going to be handy, and he can take this guy out and this guy out, but then he's going to be in range of things over here. Oh, I'm not even sure he can take that guy out. I'll have to watch the replay. The third thing that I've had go wrong with queen walk time and time again is very effective plan, very efficient use of troops, and then I just run out of freaking time. And if you imagine the queen walking down in this direction, this guy has put storage collectors here, elixir storage and dark elixir storage, and those are super high hit point buildings. And that's double bad, because he's got his expo set to ground. And so if the queen's walking around and parking it right here, somewhere around here, firing on this elixir storage, she's going to have this archer tower on him, this expo on him, this cannon should be gone. But she's going to be taking a lot of point defense, and she's going to be spending a heck of a lot of time on that elixir storage. So you're going to run out of time, and you might have to drop another rage on your queen if you didn't want to use it. So to help with that, I looked at this base, and nothing can really target those exterior buildings very well. So I dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 archers before I did anything else and just let them start wasting away on these buildings and getting the health down. So then when the queen starts walking in this direction, she can just one-shot kill these things very quickly. She's not going to spend any time down here. Then eventually she's going to walk down here. She's going to take out that air defense. And by then I will have funneled and taken out this elixir storage and dropped wall breakers. And then I'm going to send my P.E.K.K.A.s in. And transitioning from a queen walk to a P.E.K.K.A. healer is actually very difficult. Two things have to happen, or three things, I guess. You have to have your queen reach full health from your healers, or they're going to stay on the healer or they're going to stay on the queen indefinitely. As long as your health is not full, they will continue to heal the queen, and they will not move off of anything else. That's been my experience at least. And then you have to have the P.E.K.K.A.s right next to the queen, or pretty darn close, while they're taking damage. So if you drop the P.E.K.K.A.s in front of them, and they run past the queen, and eventually these defenses targeting the queen will be gone, the queen will get fully healed, and the healers will transition to the P.E.K.K.A.s, or whatever leading army is up there taking damage. It sounds like it should be easy, but it's actually very difficult to do. You got to get the timing just perfect. And I managed to mostly do that in this raid. It helps a lot if you can actually see the base before you attack it. You kind of figure out where you want to drop things. But then hopefully I'll have P.E.K.K.A.s and bowlers and healers on them, and the queen right behind them. They'll move into here. They'll start wrecking stuff. And I'm going to drop hogs in over here, sort of segmented, because I don't know what's in here. So I'll drop a few in here and then drop the rest in over here, sort of a waterfall drop. Now, the shortcoming with this plan is I will never have actually gone into the core. So my hogs are eventually going to want to redirect and go on after these things over here. That was one of the things I could have done better in this attack in hindsight. I think in general what I could have done better for the 3 stars waited on the hogs. Because eventually my hogs did die out. Because, when you got big spaces like this, there's traps all over the place over here. And hopefully for him, he's done things like put spring traps in between these defenses and things like that. So eventually I just lost the hogs, and had I kept the hogs, I'd had enough mobile firepower left to take this base out in enough time. But because they died out, just didn't have the time left to take it out, even though I had plenty of P.E.K.K.A.s with healers on them at the end, and bowlers live and everything else. I just flat out ran out of time. So I never had a good plan for getting into the core. That was my first shortcoming, and my second shortcoming, I think, was dropping the hogs too quickly. So in short, the plan is queen walk in this direction, archers on these buildings to help with the time, funnel with a wizard up here, and eventually bust in this direction. Now let's see how it all played out. So first things first, archers come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, being 8. Being very careful to drop them exactly where I want so they don't go targeting the wrong building. Then the queen comes down with the healers positioned as far away from the enemy queen as I could, just in case she decided to get, ornery, we'll say. And now the archer tower is locked onto the queen. The enemy queen is locked onto the queen. Once I'm comfortable that my queen's going to live, I'm going to start dropping that wizard I talked about up top. There he is, taking out the buildings he needs to take out, and then he will quickly perish from an archer arrow right into the skull. Gone. But the queen is moving the right direction. I am already working. I've got a whole layer of buildings out. Oh, let's pause. So let's take a look. I've got a whole layer of building gone thanks to those archers. They're already starting to work on these high hit point buildings here. They're not going to take them before the queen gets to them, but any help is good. And now what came out of the clan castle? Fresh hit, no idea. Guy has a witch. Guy has a baby dragon. Guy has a Valkyrie. Very potent clan castle thing coming out. So drop my poison spells to slow things down, but I'm going to have to pop the ability. As soon as I see you're taking damage, don't even wait. Just get that ability going. Get those clan castle troops taken care of. Good. And so the queen continues to walk, taking some damage, about where she needs to be. This air D is coming down very soon. Could have been a little bit quicker dropping a wizard here to get some sort of funnel. Wall breakers come in, and this has been happening to me lately. I don't know why. All 3 wall breakers are dropped at exactly the same spot. Maybe I need to quit tapping, and I'll just hold in my finger instead to drop them all. Because 2 of them went for a piece of wall over here, and 1 of them went for a piece of wall over there. And I don't know why on earth they do that. Now, I kind of got lucky that I was about to drop a rage, my first rage spell. See, my queen went all through this with just popping her ability and 2 poison spells. It's a queen walk, when you do it right, is very, very effective. But I'm going to drop my first rage spell, and that actually rages these what are these guys? Wall breakers. They're going to bust through this wall in 1 shot and then move on. So I kind of got lucky there. But yeah, P.E.K.K.A.s can bust through a wall pretty well. And anyway. All right, so that first P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. versus Valks. This is a downside of the P.E.K.K.A. Valks, if you have 10 or 12 of them, you can drop a test Valk to see where she's going to go, and then drop the rest of them. P.E.K.K.A., you drop 1 P.E.K.K.A., that's a third of your P.E.K.K.A.s, and I saw that she's directing toward this guy, even though I was hoping that she might go in here. These buildings are now gone thanks to the queen and her raged, modified Expo firepower thingy. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for this guy to go. And then as soon as the P.E.K.K.A.s are moving into the base, I'm going to drop the rest of them, and then I'm going to drop the boulders behind them. Storage is gone. Queen is looking good because she's all healed up. Now everything's moving into the interior of the base the way I'd like it. It actually worked out quite nicely having 1 P.E.K.K.A. on the outside because she's going around and knocking stuff out. So I've got healers transitioned to 1 of my P.E.K.K.A.s. Unfortunately, just 1 and not 2. And now everything's clustered together, so everything's getting healed up. Great, 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 great. And then everything walks away, and they decide to stay on the queen. No idea why that happened. And I sent in my hogs. And yeah, like I said, I probably should have just been more patient on them, because this P.E.K.K.A. could have stayed to take a lot more damage. The reason I wanted to send them in so quickly is because now I can share a heal spell between this P.E.K.K.A. and these hogs, which is usually a really good idea. But I think it works a lot better on Valks than it does the P.E.K.K.A. So this P.E.K.K.A. is effectively at full health, leaving that heal spell. But my hogs have been hit by traps. They're taking a lot of point damage. I've got 1 heal spell left, and it's never good to have hogs working on an Expo because it takes so long to get through it. Even though that heal spell is not just going to last. It's not going to last long enough. Eventually, they're going to take too much point defense. They got skeletons on them. They're going to die out. Queen moves up. She's getting healers on her, but too much point defense on her. She's also going to eventually die out. But up at the top, I have got 2 P.E.K.K.A.s. 1 of them is at full darn health. I got 3 bowlers. I got wizards. I got archers. I got more than enough firepower to take care of this base. But you know what I do not have? I do not have the time. I am short by just a handful of seconds to knock these last 2 buildings out. That guy was about to go 2 more seconds, and that guy could have gone. Oh, that hurts. Oh, it hurts. Oh, that's a kick in the penis right there. But that's the way cookie crumbles. All right, so that's the first attack. I'm going to move on to the second attack now.